So tell me again how the Trump administration is pro-life, because nothing says we care about children like lighting 500 metric tons of emergency food on fire. Food that could have fed 1.5 million starving children for a week. But instead of feeding starving children, Trump's team said, here you go, Flames, bon appetits. USAID spent $800,000 on high-energy biscuits. These biscuits were specifically designed to keep children alive during famine, war, disasters. And now, the Trump administration is paying $130,000 to incinerate all of it. And guess who gets to pay for all of that? Because it's not Trump. It's not Elon. It's not JD Vance. It's you and me. US taxpayers get to pay for the starving of innocent children. All of this because Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency decided that foreign aid wasn't efficient enough. Let me spell this out for the people in the back. Babies are starving. There is food. Trump's administration had the authority to send that food. They said no, and now they're gonna torch all of it. But yeah, you dumb geriatric dipshits are pro-life. And I can already hear some of you dumbass dick writers saying some bullshit like, but Biden's administration bought the food. Yeah, for emergencies. Like this. The idea was to have that food ready when countries like, I don't know, Sudan, had people dying of starvation. Or when children in Afghanistan were wasting away from famine. But then Trump decided to shut down USAID, fire experts, ignore experts begging him to send the food, letting the food rot, and now that it's expired, they're burning it all. And Trump's people still have the gall to call themselves the party of family values. The only family value you are upholding is negligent homicide. They love screaming about Christian morality and how every life is sacred, even the unborn lives. But they're out here roasting baby food that could save a literal child like it's a fucking 4th of July pig roast. And spare me with the whole, we need to put America first though. What's patriotic about wasting American-grown food, bought with American dollars, to burn it in a foreign warehouse instead of saving children from starvation? Also, with that same logic of, but put America first. Do you not think that there are children and families starving in the United States that could also be using that food? This isn't just incompetence. This is calculated performative cruelty. So $800,000 was spent to feed children, and now we're spending $130,000 to burn it all. But yeah, tell me more about how you're so pro-life. You know, normally I try to be the bigger person and stray away from saying things such as, I told you so, because honestly, I am such a humble person. Psych, bitch! I told you so! You know, saying I told you so really hits different when you're saying it to a whole bunch of dumb MAGA conservative psychos. Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. For almost a year, I've been getting called a radical leftist lunatic, all because I've had the audacity to say, hey, maybe the guy who said he dated his own daughter and partied with Epstein shouldn't be president. And now, those same MAGA bootlickers are crying and foaming at the mouth saying, why is Trump hiding the Epstein files? Bitch, welcome to the club. Take a number and grab a seat. You bitches built a cult around this man, calling him the savior of children, the slayer of pedophile elites. And now, he's calling you weaklings for even asking about Epstein. Trump isn't your friend, and he sure as hell is not a hero. He's a pathological liar with a bad spray tan and a creepy history tied to Jeffrey Epstein, and now he's gaslighting all of you. The Epstein files are a hoax. The documents are fake and they never existed. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice and the FBI are like, Trump's actually mentioned in those files because he flew on Epstein's plane, like multiple times. And Trump's response?
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff.
It's boring. I don't get why anyone cares. Maybe it's because, and I don't know, this is just a shot in the dark here, but it involves sex trafficking, you dumb human Cheeto! You bitches were duped, and now he's trying to gaslight you. But go off, yeah, keep saying it's the Democrats, the fake news, the media, drag queens, instead of the man who had the power to release the Epstein files and decided not to. You want to talk about protecting pedophiles? Let's start with the man we have in office who's calling all of you dumb for demanding the truth. But yeah, you bitches played the fuck out of yourselves. Bad. Yeah, hi, so how many times do we have to tell you?
Leave this bitch alone!
This is exactly what happens when you treat a demon-possessed doll like she's part of a fucking boy band reunion tour. Annabelle, the alleged demon-possessed doll that's been blamed for car crashes, attempted stabbings, hauntings, and the origin of 3 horror franchises, has now allegedly claimed another life. Dan Rivera, the lead investigator for the New England Society for Psychic Research, aka the people in charge of the Annabelle on Tour circus, died suddenly during their Gettysburg stop. Now listen, I'm not saying that Annabelle explicitly killed this man, but I am saying the math is mathing. Gettysburg was a 3-day sold-out stop, and what happened after the final night? Oh, Rivera died in his hotel room with no known causes, and CPR couldn't save him. And the location of this show? Just an orphanage known for being one of the most haunted places in America. So you brought one of the most haunted dolls to one of the most haunted places in America and thought to yourself, yeah, this seems like a good idea. You bitches had one job, and that was to keep that bitch in her fucking box. And instead, you flew her around in your Spirit Airlines carry-on and took her on tour. And this isn't the first time Annabelle has stirred chaos on tour. When she touched down in New Orleans, there was a plantation fire, a prison break. One of the inmates that escaped is still at large. At this rate, this is not a tour. You're just providing a live-action Final Destination reboot. So here's my message to the bitches that are still running the Annabelle tour. Wrap it up! Put that bitch back in her Vatican-approved box, lock it shut, and then bury her in a salt circle surrounded by crucifixes. Because I promise you, if Annabelle shows up in one more fucking town and something catches fire, someone dies, there's a flood, inmates escape, I will personally sage the eastern and western seaboards. Like, I'm not kidding. Okay, deep breaths, everyone. I think we've officially entered the burn everything to the ground portion of this simulation, because Congressman Andy Ogles from Tennessee, who looks like he just crawled out of the movie The Hills Have Eyes, has announced again that we should amend the Constitution so Trump can serve a 3rd fucking term. Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. Yeah, let's have the man who tried to overturn the election, incited an insurrection, and thinks climate change is a hoax created by China serve another term. Ogles said, and I quote, "Let's be honest, he's the greatest leader we've had in centuries." Centuries? Have you lost your god-awful fucking mind? If you genuinely believe that a man who went bankrupt 6 times, said windmills cause cancer, tanked the U.S. economy to help his billionaire buddies with insider trading, and launched a trade war, is the greatest leader we've had in centuries, you're either so unbelievably fucking stupid that I personally believe the next best course of action is for you to receive a fucking lobotomy, or you're secretly in love with this man and the thought of him serving another term gives you a semi. But wait, there's more. When asked why he's pushing this, Ogles said, "Oh, it makes the libs mad and I think it's funny." So you're admitting this isn't about democracy and you are deliberately going against the Constitution to make libs mad, essentially just trolling? Yeah, Ogles, you're fucking pathetic. And I cannot stress this enough. He is saying this right after Trump started an international crisis by ordering strikes on Iran, declared a ceasefire he personally caused the need for, and then took credit for stopping the thing he started. And now this out-of-touch geriatric man wants to change the Constitution, not fix healthcare, not making housing more affordable, not securing voting rights, but give Donald Trump a 3rd shot at power because he deserves it. This really, this isn't politics. This is a straight-up fucking cult. This is constitutional cosplay that makes our country look like a bitch. It makes our country look weak. Anyways, I'm really glad to see that our democracy is still barely hanging on by a fucking thread. If you had to give birth during an airstrike with no hospital, no clean water, no food, what would you do? What would you do if you had a newborn that was struggling to breathe because of how hot it was outside, but there was nothing you could do because there was no shelter left? Fortunately for us, these are things we don't have to worry about because we aren't being subjected to a genocide. But this isn't some hypothetical because this is actually happening in Gaza. It's happening right now, and it's happening to my friend Ahmed. You've heard me talk about him before. He's from Gaza City, and like so many others, him and his family have lost everything. His home is gone. His job is gone. Him and his family fled south with nothing. And now they're just trying to survive each day under a siege with no shelter and no safe place to go to. Here's the reality of what's happening in Palestine right now. Ceasefire talks have been ongoing, but optimism for that has been fading. A US-backed plan suggests a 60-day truce, with hostages being released in phases, Israeli withdrawals, and expanded humanitarian aid. The humanitarian crisis is catastrophic. Over 60,000 Palestinians have been killed, and these are just the people that have been found. 2.3 million people are displaced. Food prices have surged up to 1,400%. Nearly 66,000 children are malnourished. Hundreds of people have been killed and shot trying to get food. Aid trucks are being blocked. Hospitals are being bombed. Gaza's fuel supply is almost gone. Now people, including Ahmed's family, could get out, but only if the crossing's open. During a potential ceasefire, Rafah's crossing may allow them to leave. But that escape comes at a cost. $5,000 per adult. $2,500 per child, far beyond what any displaced family could afford. And that's just for permission to cross the border. Then comes the cost of staying alive on the other side. Rent, food, medical care, finding work, getting their children enrolled in school, navigating trauma while trying to rebuild a life from scratch in a country that isn't their own where they know absolutely nobody. They aren't just fighting for a way out, they are fighting for a future. That is why Ahmed's GoFundMe is more than just a fundraiser. It's a lifeline. Every dollar not only helps them escape war, but helps them with the next chapter of their lives. If you can donate, please do. I have Ahmed's GoFundMe in my bio. If you've already donated, thank you so fucking much. And if you can't donate, please at least share their story so you can bring more awareness to what is happening in Palestine. As always, I love you guys.